What up, YouTube? You already know what's going on. It's Jordan Bowens with NGB Business News, the greatest business news commentary channel on YouTube. And I got an interesting one for you guys today because it looks like these Amazon employees are not happy about this coming back into the office mandate that apparently has been released for them and everything like that, which is pretty interesting because you would assume at this point most people back in the offices, I mean, like, you don't really see people wearing their mask, people don't even really be thinking about C-19 like that. So it's like, why you working at home? You need to get back in the office. But I understand why a lot of people would like working at home. I mean, working at home's great. You ain't even got to be wearing clothes. You guys don't know if I'm wearing pants right now. I could be. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Show you guys. I am wearing pants. But hey, if I wasn't wearing pants, you guys would not know and everything like that. I also think this is interesting because, Apple, Twitter, Amazon themselves, they've been laying off a ton of people. So I think it'd be kind of weird if the employees were fighting back on not going to the office when their jobs are possibly at stake. I would think they're like, hey, you're not going into the office. I'm going to go into the office because I need my job. You know what I'm saying? And everything like that. So I think this is a pretty interesting topic. I also thought you guys would like it too. So let's read through the article and see what's going on with it. Also, of course, like, comment, subscribe to help the channel grow, get the conversations going. I love talking to you guys. You guys always have interesting things to say, and you guys are actually really nice and respectful. So, you show me respect, I'll show you respect too. I'll give you a hug, air hug, you know what I'm saying, and everything like that. But I'm not going to hold you guys up, so let's go ahead and get in the article and see what it says. All right, so it says Amazon employees push CEO Andy Jassy to drop return to office mandate. So they actually succeeded. He was probably like, hey, you know what? It's about time for y'all to start coming in the office. And they was like, who, me? My friend Nick will get that reference. You guys would not understand that. It's like, oh, you thick, who, me? But anyways, off topic. Now it says a group of Amazon employees is urging CEO Andy Jassy to reconsider a new office return to office mandate. It says on Friday, Jazzy announced Amazon will require corporate staffers to spend at least 3 days a week in the office beginning May 1st. Jazzy said he and Amazon's leadership team, known as the S team, decided it would be easier for employees to collaborate and event together in person, and that in-person work would strengthen the company's culture, which, I mean, is normally how it is. I'm pretty sure, you guys let me know if I'm wrong statistically, but I'm sure statistically there's probably more work done when in the office. I know quiet quitting is a huge problem right now, and, people aren't trying to work right now during this recession, which is weird. It seems very backwards to me, but hey, I don't go against the statistics. But I guess they not even trying to work at least 3 days a week. You know how many people would be happy to be like, what? I only got to work 3 days a week, and the rest I can work at home? Like, but hey, I guess at Amazon, they not having it. They're not having it. Now, it says this move marks a shift in Amazon's pandemic era policy, last updated in October 21. Which, as you guys know, man, that was years ago at this point. Like, that doesn't really hold too much relevancy now, does it? Like, maybe they should have, they didn't put nothing out in 2022. Like, it's crazy. Which left it up to managers to decide how frequently their teams need to be in the office. Since then, there's been a mixture of fully remote and hybrid work among Amazon's white-collar workforce. So as you guys know, this doesn't really affect the people in the factories. It doesn't really affect the drivers. This is more so corporate. So, the people in the accounting teams, possibly the IT teams, things like that, developers, stuff like that. The office people, essentially. Now it says staffers on Friday created a Slack channel to advocate for remote work and share their concerns. Hold on. About the new return to work policy, according to screenshots viewed by CNBC. Almost 14,000 employees had joined the Slack channel as of Tuesday morning. That's crazy. It's crazy too because, like I said, Amazon is laying off tons of people. Maybe the office people aren't getting laid off as much as, what I'm saying, somebody possibly in a factory or something like that. But geez, like 14, I can see why he dropped it. 14,000 people is a lot of people, even for Amazon, I guess they really not liking it. They're accustomed to being at home. You know they hopping on their meetings at 10 o'clock, like hopping straight out of bed, throws on a little suit, no pants, hops on the meeting, you know what I'm saying, wipes the crust out of their eye. They got the TV on in the back. They got the wife making, you know what I'm saying, some breakfast or something. You know what I'm saying? Hey, keep it down, keep it down, keep it down. You know what I'm saying? They not trying to let that go. Now it says the employees have drafted a petition addressed to Jazzy and the S team that calls for leadership to drop the new policy, saying it runs contrary to Amazon's positions on diversity. Oh, this part is interesting. Diversity and inclusion, affordable housing, sustainability, and focused on being the Earth's best employer. So this is becoming a thing about diversity, maybe where you're from. I guess maybe it may be harder for somebody to get to work than someone else, so they're saying, hey, why don't we all work at home so we don't have this problems? You know, it's all about the skills that you can do and not necessarily where you come from, which I can understand. But you know, as an employer, it's also too like, man, it's like, man, I'm trying to get this money. I don't care about your life situation, you know. But and also Earth's best employer. And obviously, you're going to be considered a great and beloved employer if you allow everyone to work from home for sure. But, you know, as long as that's not presenting a problem, you know, people being at home, maybe not getting the work done, maybe the company's not doing as well when people work, you know what I'm saying, from home and everything. We're in a recession, so you need all hands on deck. Maybe not, because a lot of people are getting fired, but I guess I kind of get it. You know, the best employer isn't always the most beloved employer. I guess it's the point that I'm trying to make here. Now it says, according to a draft of the petition, which was previously reported by Business Insider, it says, we, the undersigned, call for Amazon to protect its role and status as a global retail and tech leader by immediately, they were serious, they said immediately, canceling the RTO policy and issuing a new policy that allows employees to work remotely or more flexibly if they choose to do so as their teams and job roles permit. An Amazon spokesperson referred back to Jazzy's blog post about return to office guidance. It says the employees also pointed to Jazzy's previous statements on return to office plans in which he said there is no one size fits all approach for how every team works the best, and extolled the benefits of remote work. So, I mean, that wasn't something that works for him, but I feel like after years, it's kind of like, you know, situations change and everything like that. But like he said, it seems like he left it up to the managers, where it was like, hey, your manager may think it's best for one team to stay in the office, where another manager may say, hey, my team's doing what they got to do. They're working well. Until they're not working well, they're fine. They're fine at home as long as they're doing what they got to do, which I think is good. I think that makes sense. But when the numbers are down and everything like that, then it's like, hey, you might need to get back to the office. You know what I'm saying? Start putting on some pants or something. Now it says many employees trusted these statements and planned for a life where their employer wouldn't force them to return to the office. The RTO mandate shattered their trust in Amazon's leaders. Dang, they really want to work from home. But I do get the point here to a degree too. You know, if you know, okay, this is a company where I'm just going to be able to work remotely. The CEO says like, hey, you'll pretty much always be able to work remotely. You may move somewhere. Imagine you move somewhere cheaper or possibly more expensive because you're thinking, hey, I'm never going to have to go into the office. Or let's say one of your family members, your wife has an opportunity that's in a different state. And you're like, I work for Amazon. I got a real good job working for Amazon. And we can leave because I work remotely. So it's fine. I can be whatever. And then your wife can take that job. And then imagine you do take that job. You go leave the state. And then they talking about you got to go in the office. Clearly, you're going to be like, well, I can't go in the office. This is a problem. And a lot of people probably dealt with situations similar to that or something like that, where they created a lifestyle that wasn't cohesive, you know, to going into the office, and possibly even put themselves outside of a region that they could even get to their, you know, their specific office. Now it says employees who moved during the pandemic or were hired for a remote role are concerned about how the new policy will affect them, according to one employee who asked to be remain anonymous. Like, imagine you get fired for that, but you're like, hey, you guys told me like last year that I would just be able to work remotely. Why are you firing me now because I can't go into the office? This seems unfair. And this kind of seems like where they're going with this. Now it says Amazon's headcount ballooned over the past 3 years, and it hired more employees outside of its key tech hubs, such as Seattle, New York, and Northern California, as it embraced a more distributed workforce. Oh, excuse me, guys. I'm sorry about that. Now it says Amazon hasn't addressed whether remote employees will be asked to relocate. Beyond Jazzy noting that there will be a small minority of exceptions to the new policy, which seems to have completely failed, and everything like that. Unless they're talking about the new policy that overrid the old policy, because the employees are definitely not messing with the old policy. Now it says this petition cites internal data is showing that a significant share of employees prefer working fully remote. Oh wow, big surprise that they enjoy working at home instead of having to get up, drive to the office, not be able to get a snack, have people watching over their back. Like, I mean, most people I feel like definitely are always going to opt to work from home. But there are circumstances where people do like to work in the office. For instance, one of my favorite guys that I work with and everything, he's told me he doesn't prefer working from home. He's got, the kids, the wife and everything like that. And, he loves them, but, they kind of can distract him a little bit. You're focused on something, like you're focused, and then your kids are in the back, or you got to go, hey, put that down. You got to do all that, and you end up possibly not getting as much work done. So he prefers working into the office and possibly even leaving his house to be in the office so he can get more work done. So there are people that are kind of like that and kind of on that. But I would say I think a majority of people, if you ask them if they have the option to work from home, they would love it. I personally got to work from home for a little bit, obviously during the pandemic for a few months. And at first I kind of loved it, and then it became kind of boring. It kind of seemed like every day was the same, to the point where I was kind of like, hey, I don't really mind going to the office and everything like that. Nowadays, I would like a hybrid. I think. Let me know what you guys think too in the comments. But I think I would like a hybrid. I think 2 or 3, maybe like 3 days in the office would be really cool, and then 2 days at home. I think that would probably work was best for me. But I don't mind going into the office and everything like that. But I did see some negatives with working at home for sure. Now, it says they prefer working fully remote with the option of a monthly sync up in the office. You come in, you have a little meeting, everyone makes sure they're on the same page, and then you go and disperse, kind of like a football huddle. Or prefer working in the office at most 1 to 2 days a week. It also points to, and you guys got to think too about these people are paying for these offices. They're paying for these buildings. There's upkeep and everything with these buildings. So if you got somebody working there 1, 2 days a week, it may not make as much sense to even have the building sometimes. So that's also something to consider, that we don't really consider when you're necessarily the employee versus the employer. And now it also points to research showing that remote work increases productivity and allows companies such as Amazon to reduce expenses and attract and retain top talent. That's what I was saying before. I didn't think that it would increase productivity, but it's saying here that it shows that it does. And so if the facts are showing that it does, you no longer probably have to pay for as much, let's say, lights or heat, you know what I'm saying, or not have as many physical locations. And that could really save the company a lot of money, to where even, let's say, even a lack of productivity could even be outmatched by the savings by not having to go to a physical location. So with productivity being, still up with people working from home, then I could definitely see why companies and businesses would lean more towards there. Now, it says it allows Amazon to reduce expenses and attract and retain top talent. As you guys know, places like Amazon, Tesla, Apple, and stuff like that, they're going for that top talent. They want people who are literally going to change the world. People who are going to sit down and code something that no one's ever seen before. Excuse me. Now, it says it also notes that a return to mostly in-person work could affect employees' work-life balance and could particularly hurt parents, minorities, caregivers, and people with disabilities. Employees also questions Amazon's rationale behind forcing in-person work in all cases. For instance, some employees who are part of global teams will come into the office only to continue. That's a good point. Having virtual meetings, and they may not even have a coworker in their office. The petition says. So I think this is quite interesting. It's interesting seeing the transition, especially with large corporations, from the C-19 working from home to possibly trying to get people back into the offices. It seems like Amazon at first was like, all right, we're trying to get people back into the office. People had some backlash. They had a bunch of actually very good points about why they shouldn't be working in the office, and that kind of seems the direction that they're going into. I think it was a good point too here with a lot of corporations. Like I said, let's say you work with foreign diplomacy or something at Amazon. You may be in an office walking around a bunch of people that don't have nothing to do with your job, and you going over there and you talking to somebody that lives in China every day. So it's like, why do you need to get up and take the time to go into the office for that? It doesn't make any sense. So I do like that they pretty much leave it up to the managers. I think that's a pretty good thing. I think it really does come down to what's best for your team. I think some teams will be better able to work from home. They can actually come with more output, where I think there are certain other teams that might need a manager that's kind of on them, like, hey guys, let's keep it going, make sure you got this going on, like something like, let's say, customer service, and not everybody's answering the phones, like, hey, what are you doing? You're at home, like, you should be on the phone right now, I see you're not available, that kind of thing. So I could see it definitely both ways. So I would say with a company like Amazon, it's probably best to leave it up to the manager's discretion, and then every quarter or so or something like that, have a look. Okay, like, what's working, what's not working. All right, this isn't working, you guys got to go in the office. This is working, you guys are fine to stay at home, that kind of thing. So let me know what you guys think about that and everything like that. Also, let me know, do you guys work from home? Do you guys work in the office? What is you guys' experiences with both of those and everything like that? I'm very interested to hear. And if you want to, just say what's up. I'm gonna be like, hey, how you doing? But yeah, guys, like, comment, subscribe for more business content. I'm going to be coming with a lot of videos for you guys. And I enjoy making these videos for you guys and talking to you guys. So all that just helps the channel grow. And you guys be blessed and have a great day.